Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CarterMatt.com.
This video is our Expanse Season 4, Episode 6 reaction. There is a lot that is going on right now in the world of the Expanse, to say the least.
Yeah, to say the least. They've raised the bar this season. I didn't expect that they would, that they'd be able to match what they've done in the first 3 seasons, because those were bonkers. But here we are.
Yet again, we have an entire world in danger. This time around, that world in danger just so happens to be the world of New Terra, where you've got the Great Flood that is now going on, as if the Belters and Mercury weren't trying to kill each other and that was bad enough. You now also have the planet trying to kill them sort of thrown in here.
Yep.
This is a bad situation. And also, let's not forget, there's also like this vast underground network that seems to be running wild right now.
Yep, and that island exploded. It's all going sideways.
Well, before we get into any of it though, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates that we've got coming your way. Let's begin with Holden, because we kind of have to. He is just like grabbing on for dear life in the closing minutes of this episode.
Yeah, and luckily we can just hit the next button, boop, and see what happens going into the next one. We don't have to wait a week, because this is quite the cliffhanger.
Yeah, this is the world's shortest cliffhanger ever, but also one of the better ones they've done, because
yeah, everything is so bad. Their cavern is filling up with water. You got Mercury down there being all murcherous. See what I did there?
Yeah, see, it's almost like you can't spell Mercury without almost spelling murder completely, and somebody had to have come up with this idea beforehand, right? That, like, this is so close.
Yeah, it reminds me of Villanelle from Killing Eve. Villain, and
yeah,
she's a killer, and
yeah,
here we are with Mercury and the murder, and yeah, and so we have him. He's a problem, obviously. This cavern is filling up with water. Could put everyone in a watery grave. Then we also have this new problem with the green eye goo and whatever that is, because that feels like that's turning into something that is clearly contagious. It is jumping from person to person at this point, and we did see somebody down there rubbing their eyes. So that is also not great, because everybody's in very close quarters.
So we've got a guaranteed problem at the moment, and I believe that is this virus. I don't think it's going to deliver anything good to any of these people. This is not, as much as I want to believe this will give people superpowers like Melba had, I do not think that's where they're going with this story.
Yeah.
I think it's going in a bad place. I mean, it's possible that the Great Flood, maybe it'll end and they'll just be up to like their knees, the water, and then they can function and be okay. Maybe Mercury, because this is what the Expanse has tried to sell me. That nobody is truly evil. That everyone thinks that they're doing the right thing in their own mind.
And Mercury also thinks he's doing the right thing in his own mind, but it just doesn't feel that way to me. I mean, I understand what's happened, and his ship was blown out of the sky, and he has lost a bunch of people. So I understand that he's mad. But he is going about this in like a really crazy way, just killing everybody.
Let's sort of just, I don't even know how to get into that guy's head, but this is the thing I'm hoping for with everyone, is that everyone is so in there that if he starts killing more people, they may start killing some of his people back.
It's true. It's true. I'm just hoping that the threat of everybody dying will be enough to just squash this, at least until they're all safe and they can all start killing each other again outside of this. Right now, they all just need to find a way together to survive this.
The biggest problem, I think, ultimately here is just sort of the fact that you don't know what the proto-molecule's priority is in all of this, other than that it seems to be doing whatever it is that it wants to be doing, and what it wants to be doing is getting answers on what happened to its creator. It don't care that there are all these people that are there. Like, maybe its next phase is these artifacts are just gonna blow up and then everyone's gonna die.
Yeah, it's such a question mark about what's going to go on with these artifacts, and Miller's gone, seemingly, at least for the time being, so there's not even any real answers coming.
Before we go off New Terra, let's just have a little bit of an Amos update here, because on one side, yeah, Amos gets a kiss. There's a certain sweetness in that. But also just, I miss the old Amos storylines. This one's just not as exciting for me. He's just away from too many people on the team consistently.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw something else out there, too, that I haven't been enjoying about this story, just as much as some of the other people that he's come into contact with in the past. And we've seen him have a relationship with Prax, and we've seen him have a relationship with Anna, and it seems that normally Amos is attracted to people who can kind of show him another way. So, you know, Prax had his botany and helping grow life, and was able to sort of give him that perspective of things, and that friendship brought him in another direction. And sort of the same with Anna, but in a different way, showing about helping and death and these types of things, of how you can have empathy for these kinds of things. This new relationship that he's in with basically a female version of him to a lesser degree just doesn't seem to be moving his story anywhere. It's not moving it backwards. It's not moving it forwards. It's just not moving it for me in any direction. And so that's been a little bit of a disappointment for me this season.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not going to say that the stuff that's going on with Naomi and Alex and now Lucia is disappointing, because I don't think that. I wish I had a little bit more on it. Either. I just wish I had more direction as to where we're ending up with the three of them, and that's what makes this episode so interesting, is it's got like all the chaos surrounding Holden is like so much like priority A, and then like my attention elsewhere is kind of drifting from the other people on the Rossi crew over to just how screwed over some of our other characters in this world at the moment are. On a scale of 1 to 10, they're like a 20, especially our pals, Drummer and Ashford, who at the moment are in some pretty deep doo-doo, and they're also being babysat now by the UNN, who no longer really trust them to do their jobs. All right.
And come on, I mean, why did you listen to Marco? Why? Drummer, I love you, and you know that I do, and I know why you did what you did.
Yeah.
But you should have not done this. This was a mistake, because I feel that now you guys are being babysat. You guys had a seat at the table where it felt like you could have built this into something else. Now they don't trust you. You guys listen to Marco. Why? Why would you listen to him? You knew before you even met him that he was a silver-tongued devil and that there was going to be a problem. You guys let him talk, and you let him talk you guys into basically ruining everything that you have built. Yes, if you had gone against those other two people in the Belter Supreme Court, possibly it could have caused some other discord in this whole deal. But now it's caused a problem with your seat at the table. Now you guys are being babysat because you screwed it up, and now Marco is out there and you have to deal with this. Guys, you just should have dealt with it.
Ashford should have just been Judge Dredd before the Supreme Court got on there, proclaimed him guilty, and just shot him out into space. Then we would all be so much better right now, because this is all really complicated, everything that's going on. Like, this took me a couple of rewatches to get a good, like, sense of, because you've got this ship, and this seems to be a part of the problem right now, is the state of the Sojourner, this ship that Ashford and Drummer seem to believe was not a problem. They were told that it was just all in pieces.
By Marco, the liar.
Yeah, I mean, they had multiple just, like, not great information on the Sojourner. They bought into that, and then, as it turns out, the Sojourner just so happened to be the ship careening towards Earth that Christian ends up blowing up. They were able to sort of identify it as having all of this material that was indicative of that ship. So that causes a big problem, because now all of a sudden it's like, oh, why didn't you guys, Belters, take care of this problem?
Yeah, you guys are here to take care of this problem, and you didn't. Instead, you let him go.
Yeah, like you basically didn't do your job properly, so they got tricked by Marco in that sense, and you know, Marco is still also out there because they're able to sort of detect, see where all the relays are going, and there's another ship that is out there. He is on it. There are problems, and there are even bigger problems thanks to the whole Martian encryption side of things, which seems as though the dark corners of Mars are in cahoots with whatever he is doing.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me, too. I feel like whatever this storyline that Bobby's on, where she's breaking bad with this cop and everyone else, that this is somehow connected to Marco. When we first saw her leave that door open, she saw that it was Belters that were taking some of the stuff from there, so she already knows that Mars is dealing somewhat with the Belters. With Marco being a pirate, he's gotta be involved in this, and it makes sense that he would be.
Yeah, he's at least, there's enough evidence already that he's in cahoots with Mars. I mean, he mentioned it to Ashford. And
that
Ashford,
Mars is not the same Mars it used to be.
And you know, Ashford parroted that later on in this episode, episode 6. So, you know, we've got enough tangible evidence here of some stuff that is going on. But, you know, in the previous video, I threw a crazy theory out there that Nancy was somehow responsible for the timing of this incident and all of that.
And some of that made sense at the time that we watched that. I mean, we just saw Christian pull out some skeletons out of, you know, Nancy's closet and watched her rating plummet. And now it was it bad timing, or did she have something to do with it? It made sense.
Now we have the next dimension of this theory where, you know, and this could be totally wrong, but if it's possible for, you know, this dark corner of the OPA, Marco and his group, to be sort of in cahoots potentially with a dark corner of Mars, it's certainly fair to think that somehow Nancy is involved in this as well, where Nancy is sort of promising these people on Mars and OPA a seat at her table if she gets into power. Maybe they can all get something that would incentivize all of them to do these things for her. So maybe that is sort of the larger end game, because that is a big question I'm sort of wondering, is that, you know, how are all these people ultimately going to help each other in the end? Like, what's the end game of it?
Yeah, and I've been kind of wondering what the end game for Nancy in general is.
Yeah.
Like, she can't just be brought onto the show to be this tinier story foil for Christian and everything that's going on there, because it feels like it's just so far removed from everything else that it's, oh, there's all this going on New Terra, and there's this and that and everything. Oh, but let's also have an election with random Nancy. I don't think that it is just this random. There's got to be a bigger piece for her to play, because so far it just isn't there.
Yeah, and the part of this that's just interesting to me is, how is all of this, and it's a lot right now, especially when we consider that, I mean, I still feel like eventually Naomi is going to run into Marco this season. I mean, we're going to lose out on that if it doesn't happen.
Oh, yeah, I really hope so. I hope they're not holding out on that until season 5. Don't make us wait.
So, I mean, there's got to be more connections with all of this in New Terra as well, because everything kind of eventually, like, ropes into each other on the Expanse. So maybe we will get there at some point, but
I hope so. We only have 4 episodes left,
not
so there's not a lot of time to bring this all together. But they do pack a lot into each episode, so
the real MVP here is clearly Ashford's baby. That was such a random scene that I did not expect to see.
I was really happy that we did get to see that, because Ashford's not a guy who's going to open up. He's certainly not going to open up to Drummer, and he doesn't seem to have any friends. He's a pirate, so, I mean, that is kind of part of that lifestyle, that you're not going to really trust anybody or open up to anybody. So seeing that moment with the baby and him watching video back, and it was really nice to just get a peek into him, that he's not just this pirate that's working for Dawes, that there is more going on there that he's sharing with us, basically, and no one else.
And this is where I get to sort of an interesting philosophical question with the Expanse season 4, because I'm loving we're still getting the show. I'm really, despite my little quibbles here or there about the Amos storyline or about it taking me a long time to understand what's happening with the Sojourner, I'm still really enjoying all of it. But you know, one of the benefits on being on Amazon is you kind of have the freedom to make your episodes however long you want.
Yes, we've been getting longer episodes this season.
I'm almost surprised, though, that they're not longer. Like, I was kind of thinking we would maybe get, like, 50 to 55-minute installments of some of these. And, I mean, I'm sure that's probably a budget thing because this is not a cheap show to make.
Well, some of them were close to 50 minutes, which was a lot longer than we were getting because they were about 40 or 41 minutes before. So we're getting almost 10 more minutes of content.
Yeah. I think I'm just coming from the world of watching, like, multiple seasons of American Horror Story where Ryan Murphy decided that I needed to watch like an hour and 20 minutes of American Horror Story Hotel.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I still have not recovered from that, by the way. But yeah, I'm excited to see where these final 4 episodes go. And I want to know from you guys, what did you think about The Expanse Season 4, Episode 6 when you first watched? Let us know in the comments. And if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe. And you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the Carter Matt store. And we'll see you here next time.